Okay. Donna, you ready?
We're ready.
Welcome to our Be the Sun, Not the Salt podcast. My name is Dr. Harry Cohen, and I'm joined by Connie Fontaine, my chief super spreader. And this is another episode in our series, How do I practice being heliotropic in all kinds of different circumstances? This particular topic is, how do I model or teach my children to be heliotropic?
Yeah, this came from a listener and it was a special request. And at first we thought, well, obvious, right? But it's hard, just like it's hard to practice ourselves. So we think this is a juicy one. And I think this becomes, whether it's for, your friend Dick with being a grandparent, being a parent, I think it's about a lot about modeling and practicing it ourselves.
The whole kit and caboodle is modeling it and practicing it and owning that we're all a work in progress, period. So it doesn't matter what age your children are. And everybody has to face this, whether they have kids or are around kids. Our job is to be heliotropic, period, as best as we can. And forgive yourself when you're not, and then try your best to do it again in the next moment.
I know we're not supposed to live with regret. Do you think about a story when your kids were little? Are there things we could have done? I know I could have done things differently.
My God, it's great that they don't remember some of the stuff that I did. I was such a jerk when I would lose my cool at varying ages, because my kids are now 33 and they're fraternal twin boys. And the way they treated each other at various stages was off. And of course, I would, come to the rescue of the victim being, harassed by the other one. And they would yell and do terrible things, not that terrible, but in my mind, stupid things to the one who was perpetrating to the victim. And it just, oh my God, Connie, it was embarrassing how I behaved. And thank God they don't remember it. But the cool part for me is that I can really work on being a good parent now, even though they're grown adults. And man, it requires the same level of attention, but I'm a lot wiser now. Mostly it's shut up. Mostly it's say less, listen more, and say what would be perhaps helpful.
Right. Well, I think, it's so easy to make it. It's such a big topic, right? There's so many different situations and things that you could experience where you feel like you've lost your temper or something. But if you think about it in just the simple form of be the sun, not the salt, what is going to provide that comfort, warmth, safety, nourishment in the moment? How do you want your child to feel and watch you feel in a moment? They're observing the way you're treating other people and how you light people up. So it's almost like take our little metaphor and apply it that way. My one funny story, I know when our daughter was in kindergarten, Jackie, she's 34 now and a mom. And we were standing on the playground as school was letting out and I was picking up, I was dressed in a suit. I was, coming from work and a mom came up and said, I'd love to have Jackie come over and play. And Jackie looked up and said, well, we're really, really busy, so we're going to have to check the calendar and get back to you. And I thought, what the heck? 5 years old. So obviously that's the kind of modeling behavior I was giving, is that we're really busy people and we'll let you know.
We'll have to check our calendar, little 5,
That's right. So that modeling of feeling busy, rushing out the door, that's another one. Boy, come on. We got to go. Get your shoes. We're going to be late. That level of got to get going is another example of how did I want them to feel? Well, I wanted them to feel pressured, under duress, so they would fulfill on my timeline so I could get to work on time. That's not a really good way to do things.
Here's a tip for parents at every age. You can continually practice this and it never ends and you can get better at it. I know that I'm better as a father now than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I'm not done. And maybe in 10 years, I'll be even better. And if I'm lucky enough to be a grandparent one day, I hope to be a great grandparent. Not literally, but a very good.
You might be both.
Yeah.
You might be both. Well, talk about adult children. I mean, being a parent of adult children can sometimes be harder because the rules are not written anywhere for sure.
And as far as I'm concerned, we make the rules, but follow the wisdom of the ancients. which is keep your cool, bring out their best, remember they're separate and wonderful human beings. And my job doesn't change. I want to be a positive influence in their lives, no matter what, so they are made better by my relationship with them and
Hmm.
me too. So I'm never ever done with this, and I'm looking for more ways to be a better father at this age.
Hmm.
Doesn't get old for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a very specific, trying to make sure I know exactly what salt on roots for them
Yeah.
is. And it's different for both of our kids. So Jackie's 34, she's married, she's got kids. Brian's single, is 31. Different lifestyles. And guess what? They don't usually want my opinion
Mhm.
unless they ask for it. And for, Brian especially, he doesn't, that's one of those things I have to ask. Do you want my thoughts on that? And I know that it's salt on his roots. So the minute it starts to come out, I just stop. And that's hard for me
Yeah.
because, of course, I know better, of
Yeah.
course.
Well, this is our lifelong work. So do it again. Do it again. Do it
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
The beauty of this work, this material, is we get to do it over again the next moment. Whatever came out of our mouth, whatever we did or didn't do, or said or didn't say, great. So go clean it up. And I love that we get to clean it up
Mhm.
every single day, to try and be a little bit better.
Well, and I think that's to your point on that with as a parent, it's okay to apologize to your child. We talk a lot about, learning to apologize well and doing the next right thing. We practice it ourselves all the time, trying to get better. And to apologize and tell your child, mommy shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I yelled. I'm sorry that I did whatever. And by the way, hold me accountable. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
And I think that alone, talk about modeling good behavior. That's a good way to teach kids that it's okay to be wrong, as long as you fix it.
Exactly. Know that you're wrong, acknowledge that you're wrong,
Mhm,
apologize well, try and
mhm,
fix it, be vulnerable, enlist them in the journey. We're all in the process of becoming better human beings. You
mhm,
too, me too. Nobody writes a book. No, nobody tells you how to parent.
mhm,
No rules other than, try and bring out the best in them and don't make them, hate life and themselves. But
mhm.
they're, you know, remember the village metaphor. Use a lot of resources, friends, family, relatives, and wise sages to help you raise your kids while you're raising yourself.
Mhm. Well, and I think we've talked about the difference between empathy and compassion, and compassion is also about doing something about
Mhm.
how you're feeling about that person. And I think one of the most important things to model is that with children is to show that you care about people. It's the small tokens of, whether you're feeding someone who's homeless, whether you're taking care of somebody who's injured, whatever it is, but making sure that they see that you're compassionate, not angry.
Mhm.
We've talked about different situations with people in our lives where you can't hold a grudge, and boy, if you're gonna hold a grudge in front of your kids, that's probably one of the worst examples you can set.
Yeah. And holding grudges is really stupid.
The big one. So, I think what we're saying is modeling for our kids is probably what we're trying to do for ourselves and each other. We do this, we catch each other when the one's being negative or not compassionate about somebody, and I think that's what we're saying is modeling those around you, and our
Yeah.
kids obviously are the most important places to start, and the kids in your life. It's not just about having your own children, it's about who can you empower, what children can you influence, and what people around you can make a difference with.
So here's one thing I want to end with, which is when
Yeah.
you see someone's kid, whether it's yours or anyone else's kid, and you see
Mhm.
them doing something absolutely wonderful, make sure you say it out loud, pure and simple. I love the way you did that. It's not small, and I want to call it out.
And you see their little faces light up and you realize, "Yep, I did a good thing."
You bet.
I love that. Would love to hear some other stories about how you've done it. We know colleagues of ours read the book with their kids. They plan out different life events with the children. Whatever activity your family likes to do, we'd love to hear about it. Thanks for listening.